Sweetheart, I want to begin by saying, right where you are in this very moment, you are safe, you are seen, you are held. I know there may be a deep ache inside, a quiet pain that has sat with you for far too long. Perhaps you've tried to push it away or pretend it wasn't there. Maybe life moved forward on the outside, but something inside still feels stuck, like a part of you never quite caught up. That's okay. Truly, it is. There is nothing wrong with you for feeling this way. We don't have to pretend to be strong all the time. In fact, your willingness to be here, to listen, to open your heart even a little, that is the most beautiful kind of strength. We live in a world that teaches us to hide our wounds, to smile when we feel like crying, to move on before we've even had a chance to catch our breath. But healing, my dear, does not come from hiding. It comes from allowing, from softening, from turning gently inward and saying to yourself, it's okay to feel this. I am safe with me. You don't need to fix everything all at once. You don't need to rush. What you need is kindness, your own kindness, the kind of kindness you would offer to a tender child who just needed a little love and care. That's all. Sometimes healing begins not with doing more, but with doing less. Less judging, less criticizing, less running from the feelings that ask for your attention. You are not broken. You never were. There is nothing wrong with you for carrying pain. We all carry something. But what matters now is that you're beginning to lay it down, just for a moment, just long enough to breathe a little deeper, to rest a little easier, to allow the light in. It's not about getting over the past. It's about making peace with it, letting it be part of your story without letting it define you. Think of your heart like a beautiful garden. Some parts have been overgrown, others stepped on, maybe even left in the shade too long. But gardens can heal, soil can renew, seeds of love can take root again, even in the places that once felt barren. You don't need to know how it will all unfold. Just trust that by showing up with love today, you are already changing everything. And even if it doesn't feel like much right now, even if the ache is still present, that's okay. The very act of showing up for yourself begins the healing. You are not doing this alone. There is a loving presence that walks with you always, gently guiding you back to yourself. When the heart is open, even just a crack, light pours in. And that light brings peace. That light brings softness. That light says, you don't have to carry this all by yourself anymore. So let's take a moment together. A breath, a pause. Hand over heart, eyes soft, voice gentle. I am safe now. It is okay to let go. Say it again with love. Let the words echo in your soul like a warm embrace. That's how we begin, not by rushing, not by forcing, but by opening the door.assistant. And sweetheart, you've just opened it. There's a quiet truth many don't speak about. Trauma doesn't always come from grand events. It can come from moments when you didn't feel seen, when love was withheld, when you were told you were too much or not enough, when the world didn't feel safe. Those moments sink into the body like stones in water, settling deeply into the soul. And unless we gently lift them, they remain, not to harm you, but because they were never given the care they needed to soften and be released. You may have felt confused about why certain memories still bring pain, even after all this time. Why your heart races or your body tenses for no clear reason. Why you feel distant or numb, like you're watching life through a window. These are not flaws. These are signs. Messages from the beautiful wisdom within you saying, please tend to me. Your inner child, your heart, your body. They have all tried to protect you in the best way they knew how. And now they're asking for something different. They're asking for love. Trauma is not something to fear. It is a signal, a sacred invitation to return home to yourself, to tend to the spaces where you were left feeling unseen, unheard, unsafe. And oh, my darling, when you bring love into those places, when you hold them with grace instead of judgment, healing begins to flow, not all at once, but steadily. Like the way morning sunlight slowly warms the earth. You might ask, how do I begin to let go of something that has lived in me so long? You begin by acknowledging it, not with blame, not with shame, but with loving awareness. You place a gentle hand on your heart and say, yes, I know you've carried this, and I am here now. I am listening. That alone is powerful. That alone can shift mountains within. And let's talk about what trauma can do to the body. The body remembers what the mind tries to forget. It holds tension, fear, and sorrow in its muscles, its breath, its posture. You may feel exhausted without reason. You may get sick more easily. You may find your shoulders always tight, your breath always shallow. These are not weaknesses. These are cries for love. The wonderful news is that love heals, and not just the kind from others, but the love you give to yourself. The more you speak gently to yourself, the more your body begins to trust that it's safe again, safe to breathe fully, safe to rest, safe to release what it has held so long. You are not defined by what happened to you. You are shaped by what you choose to do now. With this moment, this breath, this thought, you are not your trauma. You are the space that holds the power to heal it. That's where your true self lives, not in the wound, but in the love that rises to meet it. So today, in this quiet time together, I want you to begin letting yourself feel supported, not by needing to understand it all, but by knowing that healing is possible, that your heart knows the way, that there is nothing wrong with you, that you are worthy of peace. Right now, just take a breath, and as you breathe in, say silently or aloud, I choose to love myself through this. And as you breathe out, let go a little more. I release what no longer serves me. These are not just words. These are soft steps on the path of return. And with each one, you feel just a little bit lighter. When we talk about the mind and the weight it carries, we often forget how deeply thoughts shape how we feel inside. Have you ever noticed how one small thought can suddenly make the heart feel heavy? Maybe it's a thought like, I'll never be okay, or something must be wrong with me. These thoughts feel real, but they are not truth. They are echoes of the past that have lingered too long, convincing you of things that are not loving and not aligned with who you truly are. The mind can become a storehouse of stories we were told, words that hurt, moments we never processed. And these stories, if repeated often enough, begin to form beliefs. Beliefs like, I'm not enough, or I'm too much, or I'll always be this way. But I want to tell you something very gently. A belief is just a thought you've thought over and over again. And that means a new belief is just as possible. You can choose a thought that brings softness instead of pain. You can begin to think in a way that supports your healing instead of hindering it. Let me offer you this idea. Thoughts are like seeds. Some grow flowers, others grow weeds. If you water the ones that say, I am lovable, I am healing, I am enough, your inner world begins to shift. The weight starts to lift. Your spirit begins to rise. When we think thoughts of fear, shame, or blame, the body contracts. The breath shortens. The heart feels guarded. But when we think thoughts of love, peace, and trust, something amazing happens. The body softens, the nervous system calms, the breath flows more freely. That's not a coincidence. That's the mind-body connection. Your thoughts are not just little sentences in your head. They are energetic messengers. And when you choose loving ones, your whole system begins to align with that love. You don't have to get it perfect. You don't have to think positively every moment. That's not the point. The point is to become aware, to notice when your thoughts are adding to your burden and gently choose a softer path. Maybe that looks like saying, I'm doing my best, or this is hard, but I am growing, or simply, I am learning to love myself more every day. Give yourself permission to catch unkind thoughts and replace them with words that feel like a warm hug. Your inner dialogue matters. It shapes the way you move through the world. And when that dialogue is full of grace, forgiveness, and encouragement, life becomes a little lighter. Not because everything changes overnight, but because you are no longer fighting yourself. You are walking beside yourself with kindness. So today, just begin with one thought that feels loving, gentle, and true. Say to yourself, I am open to healing. Let that be your beginning. Let that be your anchor. Because the moment you think a thought rooted in love, you invite peace into every cell of your being. And peace, my darling, is your natural state. It's what your soul has always known. Let's return there together, one soft thought at a time. Sweetheart, now that you've begun to notice the weight of your thoughts, now that you've started to speak to yourself with more kindness, there's something truly powerful we can do together. Something so simple, yet life-changing. It's called affirming. Speaking words to yourself that gently guide your mind toward healing instead of harm. Words that soothe instead of scare. Words that uplift instead of shame. You see, every thought you think and every word you speak is like planting a seed, and affirmations are the loving seeds that grow gardens of peace within. I want you to know that affirmations are not meant to force anything or fake anything. They're not about pretending everything is perfect. They're about creating space for what could be. They are soft invitations to believe something kinder. When spoken with sincerity, they begin to rewire the way your mind sees the world and how your heart feels about yourself. Now, you don't need to believe an affirmation fully when you first say it. That's okay. What matters is that you say it with willingness. Willingness opens the door, and from that willingness, belief begins to grow. Let's begin gently. Let's breathe together. And as you exhale, let these words rise within you. I am willing to release the pain of the past. Say it gently. No pressure, no rush, just an offering of hope to yourself. Now try this. I give myself permission to feel peace. What a tender gift that is. Not pushing, not fixing, just permission. That's what the heart longs for, to know it has permission to rest, to breathe, to soften. Let's go a little deeper. Here's one that brings such healing. It is safe to let go. Safe. Let that word echo through your being, because safety is the soil in which healing takes root. When the mind feels safe, the body lets down its guard, and when the body feels safe, the spirit begins to rise. You can speak these affirmations in the morning as the sun comes up and you greet the day with fresh hope. You can speak them at night as you wind down and cradle yourself in softness. You can whisper them during quiet moments, or speak them out loud while looking into your eyes in the mirror. Yes, even mirror work, that loving practice of standing face to face with your reflection, can bring the deepest healing. When you look into your eyes and say, I am healing now, something beautiful happens. That little voice inside that once said, I'm not enough begins to soften. It starts to trust. You begin to feel like your own friend instead of your harshest critic. You don't have to know all the answers. You don't have to get it all right. You only have to start where you are. One breath, one word, one moment of saying, I choose love instead of fear. That's how we build a new way of being. That's how we move from pain to peace, slowly, kindly, with love. So let me offer you a few more affirmations for your heart to hold on to. Speak them as you feel ready. I deserve to feel safe. I am learning to trust myself. I welcome light into every part of my being. My past does not define me. Love defines me now. These words are medicine. Let them wash over you like gentle waves. Let them remind you that even if you've walked through fire, you are still capable of blooming. Your healing is not a task, it's a returning to the truth of who you are beneath the hurt. You are whole, you are light, you are love. Now, let's turn gently toward one of the most beautiful and courageous practices I know, mirror work. Oh, my dear, this is not just about looking at your reflection. It's about seeing yourself, truly seeing yourself. Not as others have defined you, not through the lens of past pain, but through the eyes of unconditional love. So many of us have stood before a mirror and judged what we saw, criticized, picked apart, looked for flaws. But imagine what could shift in your world if you stood in front of that same mirror and simply said, I love you. Or if that feels too hard today, even just, I am learning to love you. That one sentence can change everything. Mirror work is sacred. It's a moment each day to come home to yourself, to offer your reflection the tenderness you may have been waiting your whole life to receive. Begin with soft eyes. Don't look for perfection. Don't search for flaws. Just look. Just be. Just breathe. Place your hand on your heart and gently meet your own gaze. Speak slowly, with love. You are safe now. And then again, you are doing beautifully. Feel those words, even if they bring up tears, especially if they do, because tears are part of the healing. They show you've touched something true. This practice doesn't need to be long. Even a minute or two each day is enough. What matters is the sincerity, the gentleness, the love. Over time, you'll notice something miraculous. The way you speak to yourself will begin to shift. The inner critic grows quieter. The inner nurturer grows stronger. And life begins to feel softer, kinder, safer. When you begin to show up for yourself like this, you tell your body, your nervous system, your spirit, you are loved. And that message, spoken again and again, rewires your entire being. You begin to move through the world with more ease. You begin to let go of what doesn't belong to you. You begin to feel at home in your own skin. If it feels strange at first, that's okay. Most of us were never taught how to love ourselves. But it's never too late to begin. Each time you meet your eyes and speak kindly, you reclaim a piece of yourself. Each time you say, I'm proud of you, or thank you for staying, or you are worthy of love, something beautiful blossoms within. So start simply. Stand before your mirror today and say, hello, sweetheart. Call yourself something loving. Even if the words feel unfamiliar, keep saying them. Keep offering them. You are teaching yourself what love sounds like, what love feels like. And as you do this, as you show up in the mirror with tenderness, you will notice the shift, the healing, the freedom. You begin to feel less like a stranger to yourself. You begin to feel whole. And oh, how beautiful that is. Because when you love yourself, not from ego, but from deep acceptance, everything begins to change. The world outside softens, because the world within is held in peace. Your body is such a wise and sacred vessel. It has carried you through storms, through silence, through sorrow, and through sunlight. Even now, as you sit or stand here, your heart is beating, your lungs are breathing, your cells are listening, and they remember. The body remembers everything, the gentle and the harsh, the joy and the pain. There may be places in your body that feel tight, heavy, or numb. These are not signs of weakness. These are the places that held your pain when you couldn't. They are the places that said, "Let me carry this until you're ready." And now you are ready, ready to bring light to the places that have long been in shadow. You don't need to know exactly what caused the tightness or the ache. You don't need to understand every memory. You only need to bring love to it now. That's where the healing lives, not in digging into the past, but in offering peace to the present. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine a warm light filling you from the top of your head to the tips of your toes. This light is soft, golden, and full of love. As it flows through your body, feel it tenderly touching the places that are tired, the places that are sore, the places that have held tension for so long. Let the light say, "Thank you. You can rest now. You are safe." The soul is so wise. It knows that the body and the mind must come together for true healing. When your thoughts are loving, the body begins to trust. When the body relaxes, the spirit can shine. This is the dance of healing, a beautiful harmony of thought, breath, feeling, and grace. If you feel a tightness in your chest, breathe into it. Whisper softly, "I am safe now." If your stomach feels knotted, place your hand there and say, "It's okay to release." If your shoulders are heavy, roll them gently and say, "I no longer carry what isn't mine." These small acts of presence and compassion create miracles within. You are not your pain. You are the one who holds the power to heal it. You are not your past. You are the light that is rising from it. Even if you don't feel it yet, the process has already begun. With every breath, with every kind thought, with every soft word, you are rewriting your story, not from fear, but from love. So today, be gentle with your body. Thank it for all it's done. Apologize to it if you've judged it or ignored it, and then promise it this: from this day forward, I will treat you with love. That is the beginning of true healing. That is the beginning of becoming spiritually lighter, not because you are escaping the past, but because you are honoring it and choosing to love yourself through it. And that love, sweet one, will carry you into freedom. There's something sacred about the space you create for your healing. It doesn't have to be big or elaborate. It doesn't need candles or incense or special music unless you want it. What it truly needs, what your heart truly needs, is intention. A moment that says, "This is for me. This is where I rest. This is where I breathe again." Creating a space, both within and around you, where your spirit feels safe to unfold. That is one of the greatest gifts you can offer yourself. Maybe your sacred space is a quiet corner with a soft pillow and a warm cup of tea. Maybe it's your journal and a few peaceful minutes each morning, or perhaps it's the breath you take before the world begins to move around you. What matters most is how you feel in that space, undisturbed, unjudged, unhurried, just whole, just you, just held. When you feel spiritually heavy, it's often because there is too much noise, too much clutter, inside and out. Old thoughts, outdated beliefs, unspoken emotions, worries that don't belong to you. These things gather and build until your spirit feels crowded, and the light within you, that ever-present light, feels dimmed, not gone, but hidden. That's why creating sacred space is not just about rearranging your physical surroundings. It's about cleansing your inner world too. You can begin by saying gently, "I am ready to clear what no longer supports me." Then take a breath, and with each exhale, imagine releasing a piece of that heaviness, a thought, a fear, a regret. Let it go. Let it float away. You don't need it anymore. You might find healing in writing down what you're feeling. Let your pen speak without filters. Write a letter to your heart, to your younger self, to your pain, to your healing. Write it all out and then bless it. You can keep it or tear it, burn it, release it. What matters is that you've honored it, and in doing so, made room for new peace to enter. Water can also be a powerful cleanser, not just for the body, but for the soul. A warm bath with sea salt, a gentle shower where you say, "I release," as the water flows over you. These simple acts become rituals when you fill them with loving presence. You are not only allowed to let go, you are meant to. You were never designed to carry everything forever. You are meant to feel light, free, open to life's blessings. So create your sacred space. Tend to it like a tender garden. Let it be your refuge. Let it be your reminder that you are worthy of peace, that you are already healing, that you are already enough. So often, we confuse healing with forgetting. We think that in order to be free, we must erase the past. But true freedom doesn't come from forgetting. It comes from seeing the past through new eyes. It comes from holding the story with love, not resentment. From understanding that the experience was part of the path, but it is not the destination. Letting go of the story doesn't mean pretending it didn't happen. It means you are no longer letting it define who you are today. You are no longer giving your power away to a chapter that has already ended. You are no longer letting that version of events decide how much love or joy or worth you are allowed to feel now. Think of it this way. The story was the fire, but you are the phoenix. You rose from it. You survived it. You learned from it. And now you are free to live from the wisdom, not the wound. There may be lessons hidden in the hardest moments, the times when you felt lost, abandoned, or broken. The lesson may have been patience, or boundaries, or self-love, or forgiveness. You don't need to justify what happened, but you can take the lesson and let it shape your strength, not your suffering. One way to help this process is to write to the part of yourself who went through it. Write with compassion, with honesty, with care. Acknowledge what was lost, what was felt, and then gently speak a blessing over it. Tell that part of you, you did your best, you survived, and now we're safe. That kind of closure, offered from within, is more powerful than any apology you never received. When you tell yourself a new story, the energy shifts. Instead of, "Why did this happen to me?" you can begin to say, "How did I grow from this?" Instead of, "This broke me," you say, "This built me into someone wiser." And when you choose that story, your spirit grows wings. You are not erasing anything. You are transforming it. And in that transformation, you become spiritually lighter. Not because the pain never existed, but because you no longer carry it as a burden. You carry it as a teacher. You walk forward with open arms, ready to receive what your past could not offer you. And that, my love, is true healing. Healing is not a one-time event. It is a way of life, a way of being in relationship with yourself every day, with love, with patience, with trust. And one of the most powerful ways to sustain this healing is by anchoring it into your daily life, moment by moment. Start your day with intention. Before your feet even touch the ground in the morning, speak one loving thought. Today, I choose peace. Today, I welcome light into my heart. Today, I support myself with love. These small intentions act like spiritual anchors. They hold you steady when the world begins to move around you. You might find it helpful to set a gentle reminder on your phone or write a note where you'll see it often. Let it say something simple like breathe or you are safe or come back to the heart. These reminders are not interruptions. They are invitations. Invitations to return to your center, to come home to yourself. Breathing is one of the most sacred acts you can do to stay present. It's always available, always gentle, always true. Try this. Inhale deeply through your nose, and as you exhale, say silently, I release. Do it again. Inhale love. Exhale tension. This is how you return to your truth, again and again. Journaling can be a beautiful daily ritual too. Not to fix or figure out, but to listen, to explore, to say, how am I today? And then give space for the answer to rise. The page becomes a mirror, a place where your soul speaks freely. Even a few moments of quiet, closing your eyes, placing your hand on your heart, and simply whispering, thank you, body, or thank you, breath, can ground you. These are the small practices that build a foundation of safety and self-love within you. You don't need to do everything at once. Choose what feels gentle. Choose what feels true. Healing is not about perfection. It's about consistency, about offering love again and again until it feels like home. And with every small step, every soft breath, every quiet affirmation, you weave healing into your life, not as something separate, but as something sacred and constant, like sunlight filtering through a window, always there, always waiting. You have walked through a journey that required courage. You have tended to the parts of yourself that longed for love. You have listened, reflected, softened, and allowed. And now you arrive at a quiet truth, a truth that was never outside of you, but always waiting within. You are free, free to let go, free to forgive, free to love yourself, not in spite of your story, but because you chose to rise from it. You are not your past. You are not your wounds. You are not the fear that whispered you were too much or not enough. You are the light that chose to shine anyway. In this moment, I want you to feel that light. Not just think about it, but feel it. Close your eyes, if it feels right, and place your hands over your heart. Take a breath and speak this truth gently. I am whole. I am loved. I am free. Let those words settle deep within you. Let them become the new story, the new belief, the new song you sing to your spirit. You are allowed to be light, to live in joy, to move through the world, not guarded, but grounded, not closed, but open, not burdened, but blessed. Yes, there will be moments when the old weight tries to return. That's natural, but now you have tools, you have love, you have yourself, and that is more than enough. You can meet those moments with a gentle breath, a soft affirmation, a return to your sacred space, and you'll remember, healing isn't something you have to chase. It's who you already are. So walk forward, beloved soul, with grace, with compassion, with the knowing that you are never alone. Life supports you, love surrounds you, and the universe within you rejoices in your light. Repeat with me one final time if it feels right to your heart. I am safe to be light. I am open to joy. I am free. And so it is.